What's up? So here are the 14 things I do after publishing SEO content to get ranked first every single time. Now, if you don't follow this channel, you most likely don't know that SEO is a complex subject. If you do, you already know that SEO has three main pillars: on-page SEO, off-page SEO, and technical SEO, okay? And if you don't focus on all three, it's going to be very hard to rank on Google, on Bing, and now on these AI engines like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok. So I'll leave a bunch of resources down below in the description going over all these nuances, as well as a free 2+ hour course on SEO that teaches you, all this stuff. Now, focusing on on-page SEO, okay, focusing on the content you put on your site, whether that's a blog post, a feature page, a location page if you're a local business, a service page, or if you're an e-commerce store, like a product page for a simple product, right? Doesn't matter. Let's focus on what I do after publishing the content to my site. Doesn't need to be a blog post, okay? Because people oftentimes think SEO is just about blog posts. No, SEO, and if we're talking about on-page SEO, is about the content that goes on your site, the content as a whole, okay? So the very first thing is a pretty obvious one, but submitting it to Google Search Console or Bing Webmaster Tools, okay? So when you have a page that goes up, again, whether that's a new feature page, I'll give you an example right here. For example, we're a software company, okay? If we were a local business or an e-commerce store, that would be different, right? We have, for example, these pages. Let's say, for example, next week we launch this feature, okay? This is a new feature we just launched, just imagine, right? Again, pretty like basic feature page, age one, call to action, video explaining what it does, and again, a bunch more nuance what the feature does. We sprinkle our keywords here, right? Again, FAQ section on here. Well, there's no FAQ section, but again, we explain what the feature does, and the goal is to rank for a specific type of keyword, okay? So what we do is now this will already be indexed because it's been out for a long time, but what we do is we go into Google Search Console like so, and by the way, this is going down because we rebranded, so if you go to this domain right here, tryjournalist.com, it redirects to arvo.com, which is our new name. What you do is just go here, paste in your page, okay? And if it's not indexed, you just click right here to request indexing in case you request it. Now this redirects to our other site. But you click request indexing and hit submit, and there you go. Same thing for Bing, excuse me. Again, the whole goal of this is to have search engines know about what you're doing faster. Now, as your site grows bigger, it's going to become more instant, right? You won't need to do this more and more. But if you want to like a quick boost, or I guess a quick indexing of your page, which you should want, right? Quicker rankings. I do this from the get-go, okay? Which is what we do as well when we create new pages. Okay. Second thing, and really, why do I say Bing? Well, it's because nobody uses Bing, right? But ChatGPT, a lot of people use ChatGPT, right? And ChatGPT is owned by Microsoft, which Microsoft owns Bing. And so there's a high correlation between the rankings of your site on Bing and the citations or mentions of your brand on ChatGPT. Of course, right? Because they own the same company owns the same two products. And so I suggest you now start submitting your site to Bing Webmaster Tools just because of that, okay? Now, not to say that, of course, when you don't submit it, it doesn't index. It does index, it just takes a bit while longer. Now, second thing, schema. A lot of people think this is like a very hard thing to do, and what this does, I've made a video on this, there's infinite types of schema, but one of the schemas there are, for example, if you're a local business, right, schema markup is this little like snippet of code right here, or this one, there's a bunch of them, which add these little extra features to your SERP, to the search engine ranking pages. Whether that's like little star ratings right here, or an image right here, or if you're a product, also you can, if you're like an e-commerce store, you can also add these right here as star ratings for your product. And I'll leave a link for this one. It's going to be the very first link in the description for this video right here. I know this is for local SEO, but just watch the very first few minutes to understand how schema works, because this can be applied to any business, because there's a lot of types of schema, right? There's local business schema, there's product schema, there's a bunch of schemas, and these just give you extra features in the SERP. For example, one of them right here, FAQ schema, right? You've most likely searched something on Google and it gave you this stuff right here, right? This happens because of FAQ schema. So if you have a page on your site with FAQs right here, as we do right here, it's important you add this little snippet of code called schema markup or structured data, which is just a snippet of code for FAQ. Okay, and there's this one, there's product schema, there's recipe schema, there's a bunch of them. Again, I explained all these in that video that I just referred to, so go add them. And I know that I said 14 is my favorite one, but this one is the most effective one in my opinion, because not a lot of people do it because they think it's complex. It's not. And by the way, our product allows you to do it if you like. Quick plug right here. If you go into Arvo, blog automation, click Set Optimizer, create Optimizer, add your site, add your language, select the pages you want to scroll, and what it does is basically gives you a bunch of suggestions in terms of page titles. It analyzes a bunch of pages on your site, right? And on that analysis, some of the things it does is schema as well. Right now, it's just FAQ and article schema. It'll do a bunch more in the future. But basically, it just tells you, listen, I think you should add schema to this page, and here's why. And it gives you the why, the reasoning behind it. If you want, you just hit apply, and you automatically add the schema there. You don't even need to log into your CMS. So that's pretty cool, right? Just all these AI agents are deployed onto your site, analyze all the pages on it, and then just do all these changes. For example, for page titles, right here it says, hey, listen, your page title for this page right here is this. We suggest you change to this, and here's why. This title is more descriptive and includes the relevant keywords like whatever, blah, blah, blah. And if I want, I can just hit apply, and the AI agents will jump into my site and change the meta title. Same thing for meta descriptions, canonical URLs, image alt text, which I can assure you, if you try this right now, you'll have a bunch of images with alt text because everyone has images with alt text, even as an SEO tool have. Internal links is one of the most powerful ones because it just crawls your site and crawls, in this case, 50 pages, right? On your site, your home page, your blog page, your service page, your product page, I don't know, right? Your terms and conditions pages, and it tells you, hey, listen, link from this one to this one, link from this one to this one, link from this one to that one. So it builds an internal linking structure onto your site automatically. So right now it's suggesting we link, I don't know, this page right here to this one using this anchor text, and here's why, right? Because they're relevant, most likely. And hit apply, and the AI will go into that page and create a link between those two pages, an internal link, which is good for SEO practices. And so going back here, the next tip is number 3, which is the third thing I do, which is repurpose. Okay, a lot of people think that they shouldn't repurpose because it takes work. It does take work, but it's just a winning strategy. So repurpose your content. It doesn't matter if it's a blog page, a service page, a home page revamp. Doesn't matter. Just repurpose it. Here's an example right on Twitter right here. What this guy's doing, right? He has this, by the way, is a very famous guy. He's the creator of WP Engine, a very famous WordPress plugin. Okay, and he has this website right here. Okay. Or just writes long blog posts, valuable stuff about marketing analysis, and all the stuff he does, basically. And yeah, you could just post this and let Google get some traffic to it, right? It is indexed, if I'm not mistaken, right? You get some traffic from search, but because it was posted a long time ago, by the way. But he finds a way to repurpose it. Now, this was posted in 2010, and what we did was, hey, listen, I just republished this article. Nothing clarifies things quite like a hyper creative, all-knowing, all-seeing, real asshole available, etc. Just 3,000 views, 21 likes, 11 bookmarks, 3 retweets, 2 comments. Okay, and people actually like and enjoy this stuff. And so don't think that just because you post a blog, a page, right, we can take this and post anything. For example, our case studies right here. We oftentimes take this case study, copy the URL, right, screenshot this. Hey guys, we just posted a case study about how this guy got all his traffic using Arvo. Here's a link to the video, and here's a link to the blog post, okay? So there's ways. We live in a social world, and you should be leveraging social media to drive traffic to your business, right, to your blogs, to your content, okay? Don't just put them on your site and let them go to waste, right? Share them on LinkedIn, share them on Twitter, share them on YouTube, share them wherever you can. Okay, so repurposing content, of course, not just pasting the link, right? Finding a way to repurposing. The word here, key, is repurpose. I'm not saying just copy the link and post it to social. No, repurpose it. So if I were to do this right here, I'll just do this, for example. Just screenshot this right here. I'll give you a proper example. Copy this. Let's say this is my Twitter right here. I'll do this. Hey, for example, this guy got converting. It's insane. Check it out. And then I'll just add the link here to the next tweet, because on social media, when you link outside the platform, your post will get less reach. This is a cross-platform. So that's why I don't add the link in the first tweet. I just add in the second one. Check it out here. Boom, just copy this right here and paste it in here. So this is not very well done, but you get the point. I'm not just pasting this into the tweet. I'm writing something proper. So just hit post all, and there you go. That's what I'll do. Again, keyword repurposing, not just linking, okay? That's it. Then the fourth one is internal links from new and existing blogs. People neglect internal linking. Internal linking is good for mainly 2 reasons. First, because when someone is on a page on your site, right? Let's say they're reading this case study, right? Having a link here, which we don't because I'm dumb, to another blog post of or in this case we have a link to the R tool. We could say something like, hey, listen, if you enjoyed this case study, here's how this guy grew his etc. to XYZ. And we just link to another case study. So you get people to spend more time on your site. People spend more time on your site. People become more familiar with your brand. People are more likely to buy from you. Okay. For example, from the feature tools, we could most likely link this to another one. For example, from the blogs, which is what we do, right? We link from the blogs to other internal pages on our site. There you go, another tool, another blog post on our site. So there's internal links between every page on our site. Again, this is good for people to spend more time on site, but also it's good for link juice to flow through. So if you have this page right here, which links to this page right here, if you build links to this page, build backlinks. And by the way, if you want to learn how to build backlinks, just go watch this video right here. It teaches you how to build backlinks for free, step by step. I'll link it. It's going to be the second video. I'll link in the description. So don't worry. It's going to be linked down below. If you build backlinks to this page, backlinks, right? If this one interlinks with this one with a proper anchor text, which I teach you how to do in the course, the link juice is going to like flow through to this page, and this page is also going to benefit. Okay, so again, internal linking is important for those two things, and as I showed before, like this tool Arvo does it for you automatically with the site optimizer. Just deploys a bunch of these little AI agents onto your site, and it just gives you suggestions. Now again, you can go through this and you can agree with them, you can disagree, and based on what you apply their SCAR, the AI will learn for future recommendations. That's pretty cool. Again, you can do all this manually. Arvo isn't a magic tool. You can do all it does manually. It just saves you a ton of time, right? You'd be a pain in the ass to go through all of your pages on your site, especially if it's an old site, and find, okay, I think this one is relevant to this one. I think they deserve an internal link. Then you have to choose the anchor text, and it just takes a long time. This just do it all for you automatically because it reads through your site. Okay. Then moving on, we're rapid firing to these ones. Number 5. Let me just wait for this to reconnect. Number 5 is CTA on the sidebar, bottom, and in article. Now, this is more geared towards blog posts. So you see that this isn't just a big wall of text, right? There's CTAs all throughout. There's this one right here, which is a moving one, okay? And I see people all the time having like in their blogs, categories right here, or not even anything, or just like March 25th, April, the dates. It's so bad, right? This is prime real estate right here. You just have this sticky thing right here. We have CTAs in the middle of the article as well. And then you have CTAs down here at the bottom. At the bottom right here, a big CTA. Now I'm zoomed out. Let me just zoom in right here. Okay. Whatever it is that you're selling, just add a CTA down and the left-hand side and then at the bottom, in the middle of the article. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But your goal with this is to convert traffic into money. We're all here because we want to make more money. And so to make money, you have to sell to people. And how do you sell to people? Well, with the call to action is CTA. So add the CTAs, even in our integration pages or in our feature pages. By the way, we're a software business, so it's a bit different, but there's a CTA right here. Okay, and then there's a CTA down there as well. There you go. Again, these same principles apply whether you own a software business or you own a e-commerce store or a service-based business, or doesn't matter, right? And speaking of a local business or service-based business, one thing I see people do wrong all the time is, especially local businesses, like your calls to action should be the same color, okay? Don't confuse people, right? Don't add a call to action in blue, then one in red, then one in purple, because people, we humans are dumb. We like to think straightforward. And so if this was blue and this was red, right, and I click this one, I would not associate this one with a call to action. I made a video on this. Maybe I'm just diverging right here. I talked about this in the past, but this is more about UI and UX, which I've covered in the past, but I felt like throwing that in there because when we're talking about calls to action, where the goal is to make money, well, they need to be properly set up. Number 6, embed YouTube videos. Now, again, this goes for blog posts right here, right, to add relevance to them. Goes for case studies if you have any. Goes for feature pages, product pages. Again, I'm giving you an example of a software business because it's what we do, but this is across the board, okay? For example, we could just simply wrote this case study all written. We just have it written, but why not just add a video? Some people prefer to watch information in a video format. Some people prefer to read it, okay? So just add a video. Not only is it good for the YouTube video because it's going to be posted on a powerful domain, indexed page, so it's going to drive traffic to the video itself, external traffic, but also for the blog or the page where this is in, right? It gives it extra relevancy. And people often will spend more time on the page because there's a video playing, okay? This is another ranking factor. So add videos, add more relevancy. And when I say videos, I say images. I've said this before, add images, add videos, add links, internal links, external links, add calls to action, right? Make sure it's an enjoyable experience. Reading whatever it is that you're talking about, content you're producing, make sure it is a valuable experience, okay? And you create value by by creating something that's enjoyable to read, and also, of course, provides and gets people to where they want to be before they start reading your article or whatever it is that you're publishing. Hopefully that makes sense. And by the way, again, I'm not trying to sell you on this because most likely you saw this over and over and over again. But if you're using a tool like Arvo right here, let me just show you an example of what an article that I was generated with Arvo looks like. This is all done with AI. Okay, Arvo did this. Added the internal links, added the external links, added the images, even added the videos right here. There should be a video down here, right? All this is relevant. Again, this is an article about what's the best Audi dealership in Texas. And it added images of an Audi site right here. The video is about all these. Okay, so yes, can you write all these manually? Can you do this manually? Yeah, you can go on YouTube and find the best audio video to embed into your article. You can go and find the images. You can generate them. You can go and add the internal links, the external links. You can write the article. Man, just takes a ton of time. AI just did this automatically for you. Okay, went on YouTube and found the most relevant link to the YouTube video link, embedded right here. There you go. You can even click publish article to publish straight to your site if you like. And by the way, quick plug right here, you can speak with the article and say, hey, I don't like the intro. It's too tacky. Just be more human. And mention my dealership is the best called XYZ. And you can speak just as if you were speaking with ChatGPT. You can speak back and forth with it, change things around. You can do this with the whole article, or if you don't like something right here, you can just say, rewrite this, make it longer, make it shorter, make a list, make a table, or add keywords so you can sprinkle in your keywords right here, or add links. And I mean, you can use these in-article tools to just speed the process of your content creation. And by the way, you don't even need to use Arvo, to generate content. You can just delete all this, import your content here, and use our editing tools to edit the content. So Arvo allows you to generate, but also allows you to edit. And in case you don't want to use Arvo to generate, you can just use it to edit, or you can just take in a link from your competitors and put it right here, and we can create a draft based on your competitors. But again, that's a video for another time. You get the point. Moving on to what I do on the seventh place, which is add in-article images, add image alt text. Now, I know I mentioned in-article images before in the point above, but adding image alt text goes a long way. This, and I talked about this before, this is how also you can increase your chances of ranking higher in Google image search, which I'll make a video on it later on, but just know, again, images are a good thing for making your content looking better, okay, just like videos, right? They add relevancy to the content because Google, of course, now can read the images. And one of the way Google reads the images is through the alt text, okay? And again, having a proper alt text about what the image is about, you can even keyword stuff it because it's a bit spammy what you can do with images because there's not a lot of guidelines, to be honest with you. I mean, there's guidelines, but they're not enforced. And again, having image alt text is a great way to have your images rank on Google search or Google Images, which can be an SEO strategy in and of itself, which I'll do a video later on. Number 8, optimize meta titles and meta descriptions. Now, I've talked about this extensively, but here's what I mean, right? If you just go and type in arvo.com, okay? Now, our meta title is this right here. And our meta description is this right here. Let me just show you another example. Dallas plumber, okay? It's better because I want to change up the business, okay? Now, let me just go for one of the second page, which I know has schema. So this right here is schema. Now let's assume that this guy is ranking first, this guy's ranking second. This is the top of the search, okay? Now, who would you click first? Well, me, my eyes would at least be drawn to this guy faster. Now, granted, this guy isn't ranking first for this keyword, but they could be ranking first for other keywords. Point is that it's not just because you rank first, you're going to get more clicks, okay? One thing I think these guys are doing wrong is they have the meta title, which is this right here. The meta title is too long. Why have it too long when it doesn't even show up? What's going to happen is that if it's too long, they're just going to add these little 3 dots right here, not even show the rest. So why have it too long if it doesn't even show the rest? Yeah, you can argue that you can keyword stuff it. I think it just looks bad, okay? Now, this one is a lot more concise, a lot more to the point. Plumber, Dallas, Texas, emergency plumbing. Now, what a lot of people do is just they add their phone number right here. Let me see if I can find an example. I'm sure you've seen it around. They just add their phone number right here after, right, in the meta title. And what this does is, yes, you might get less clicks, but people might just call it just off of this without even clicking on your site. But that's, I went over that later. I went over that in a video before. Point being is that your meta title and meta description need to be optimized for 2 things. One, for the classic SEO. So you have to sprinkle in your keyword in your meta title and meta description. And then for CTR, click-through rate. Okay. Again, you got to optimize for these 2. This is very well optimized for click-through rate because of this right here, which is schema. But honestly, I think this meta title is much more well optimized for click-through rate than this one because this is too long. I mean, people just want information fast, and they put in their brand name first and Metro Flow Plumbing. I searched for Dallas Plumber. Well, what's this? Okay, Dallas Plumber. There you go. Or Plumber Dallas. So there's a quick variation of the keyword. Okay. So in my opinion, this is much better done than this one right here. But again, these guys are ranking higher. But again, I'm searching from Portugal, no VPN, so there's that. Point being is that when you're writing your meta titles and descriptions, optimize them for SEO, meaning sprinkling your keywords in there, and then optimize them for click-through rate, for CTR, okay, because you want the most clicks, right? You can do this with enticing curiosity, right? I mean, you can do a bunch of things. One of the things you can do as well, for example, is, let's see right here, people oftentimes click on these, let's see here. For example, try for free is a great thing right here. I think our meta title is good right here because we have this thing try for free, okay? And I mean, we could change it to, you could argue that people clicking this want freebies. We could just put, okay, not free, try it for $39 a month. And then the clicks would be more qualified. Maybe we'd get less clicks, but maybe there'll be more qualified leads. I mean, there's a whole argument one can make here. Just put a bit of thought when you're creating your meta titles and meta descriptions because it's important. Don't just post out content. Don't just post out pages, service pages, blog posts, product pages, location pages, and just don't think about the meta title and description. Put some thought into it because it's going to play a big part in ranking higher and having more clicks. All right. Now moving on to step number 9, which is add an author bio box. Let me show you what I mean. So we do it, of course, in our site. Okay, we add an author bio box. Let me just go here to blog real quick. It's not amazing, but it does the job right here. Who wrote the article and why they're qualified? Okay, with a link to my Twitter. Okay, let me show Ahrefs what they do. They do it way better than us, right? Any article you click right here, there's an author bio box. You can click. So who wrote the article, why they wrote it, and why they're qualified to write it, as well as the link to their qualifications, in this case, to LinkedIn. Okay, right? Social proof. And here's a dedicated profile of the author. This, I don't even know how to spell this name. It doesn't matter, right? Why they're valuable, what they do at Ahrefs, at the company, and their experience, and the link to their sources, photo, and the articles they wrote. Okay, and they have author profiles for all the other authors, okay? And this goes a long way, right? Giving Google, not just Google now, GPT, Perplexity, all these other sources, right? If we're both competing for the same keyword, and I write a piece of content that has, I mean, both are equally great written, but mine has like an author associated with it. Hey, listen, Vasco wrote this. Vasco is highly qualified. He's been doing SEO for 10 years. He's wrote this. He got all these results. Here's a link to his LinkedIn. Here's a link to all the stuff he got. Here's why he's qualified, right, to write this piece of content. And yours doesn't have a single thing, right? When I'm being cited by LLMs, or even when Google is ranking me higher, right, I'm going to have so much more authority in the field. Thus, I'm going to rank higher than you just because I have this author bio box. And I don't see a lot of people doing this. It does go a long way to building trust and building relevancy and becoming the authority in the space, right? You become the authority in the space because you are proven, you have experience, and you have stuff to back it up to some extent. Okay, and so do it. And by the way, if you are writing articles with AI, doesn't matter. If I find the video, I'll post it right here. I posted like a video a year ago of this big company where the author bio box was just, hey, this was written by this human plus our AI robot. Okay, and if you click the AI robot profile, you go to like a profile where it was about the robot, and it said, hey, listen, here's why it's qualified. It's because it was trained on our brand. It was trained to learn about SEO. It was trained to learn XYZ. And so this bot wrote the article alongside with this human who proofread it, etc. And so it's a group effort because this robot is qualified because XYZ. And by the way, if you're using Arvo to write it right here, there's a feature right here which allows you to upload knowledge, I guess, or assets or brand assets into Arvo, which go here to customization knowledge base. You can create a knowledge base right here. What it says basically, you can upload assets like YouTube channels, text documents, audio documents, your website URL, right? You upload a bunch of these brand assets into Arvo, so then it's able to create brand tailored content with your own brand tone of voice and brand's mannerism. So it doesn't sound AI-ish. It's brand tailored. So that's basically what they were doing. They were using AI, but it was an AI that was trained. I don't think it was Arvo. I'm not too sure. Actually, it was Arvo, I think. Back in the day, it was called tryjournalist.com. We just rebranded, but I think they were using it, if I'm not mistaken, for that exact reason. Again, human plus AI, and here's why the AI was qualified, because it was trained on our brand, and here's why the human is qualified, because XYZ, and they worked in tandem, proofreading, the human proofread the AI, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so just add it, okay? Then, number 10, we're approaching the end. Turn the author into a beacon for syndication. Twitter posts, LinkedIn posts, short form looms, YouTube videos, email newsletter, okay? Again, the author, and we live in a social world, right? Here on LinkedIn, on her LinkedIn, hey, listen, she should post, I'm sure she does. Hey, listen, guys, I just posted this blog post. Just like I give you the very first tip on the repurposing right here. She's not just posting a link right here to the blog post. She's saying, hey, guys, I just wrote a blog post about XYZ. Go read it. Okay, so turn the author, right, into a beacon for social syndication. Again, I'm harping on this because social syndication is so important, right? You got to syndicate. You got to repurpose. You got to drive in more eyeballs from social because that's where people are, right? People are on TikTok, on LinkedIn. People are on Twitter, right? LinkedIn is a great tool because it's like B2B. People are on there, just post there and bring them into your site, okay? Turn them into a syndication beacon. And it's, again, don't need to waste a lot of time on this. It's super simple. It takes you like 10 minutes max, okay? You saw me make the tweets. Super simple, okay? Number 11 is email newsletter, which is a bit tied in with here. If you have a brand, right, you have an email newsletter, right? We have an email newsletter. If you have an e-commerce store, you have an email newsletter. Any type of business that's serious business has an email newsletter. If you don't, maybe you have phone numbers, right? You have a database of customers. So when we put out a new blog post, when we release like a new feature, right, we just send people there. We just say, hey, listen, let's say, for example, we just released this feature right here called Content Optimizer, right? We just release this, right? Amazing video, right? Purple, whatever, etc. I just copy the URL and just type in a big email saying, hey guys, we released a new feature. Here's that, blah, blah, blah. What it does is a link to the page. Boom, click it, go to the page. Pretty simple, okay? Again, another way to drive traffic from off the site to inside the site, in this case, for a newsletter you've built, which if you don't have a newsletter or don't have an email list, I suggest you start building one and at least send out one email a week. Because it builds the habit on yourself to put out content and on people to know that when they open one of your emails, it's quite valuable, okay? So don't be spammy, don't send a lot of emails every single week. But yeah, when you post something, share it to social. Share it to your current customer base via email, okay? Leverage all these assets you have, okay? Don't be afraid to do it, okay? Number 12, pull the key stats, questions, and syndicate to social. So again, this goes with the number 3 right here. If this was a blog, like this right here, key stats, we just share this on Twitter and say, hey, listen, do you know that most of the organic traffic comes from this page, etc.? Learn more about it here. Super simple. Again, I know I more or less said the same thing 3 times. There's a bit of nuance, it's a bit different. In this case, we're pulling just the key stats, the stuff that's like, there's a wow factor. On this one, I just said like a bit of a more generic run. On this one, it's about becoming the beacon, excuse me. On this one, it's just taking the somewhat viral-like things of your posts, right, of your pages, etc., and putting them into a short tweet, LinkedIn post, etc., right? For example, just this, okay, hey, the feature does this right here. Or for example, here, I don't know, the case studies, let's see right here, boom, I just say key stats right here. For example, just pasting this table. Okay, so things that when you look at it entices curiosity. Okay, not that the other posts shouldn't entice curiosity. These are just the key stats, the key things about your content, the key things about your feature, the key things about your service. Okay, it's just those quick things. Again, these are somewhat related, but you get the point. We're almost at the end. Number 13 is remix it. Okay, and I'm running out of battery, but here's an example of remixing it. Right, for example, this guy right here, which I showed before. This is YouTube to blog posts, but you can do the other way around. What this guy did, this French guy, he has a marketing agency. I've said this before, this guy right here. He took a bunch of YouTube videos, okay, in English, by the way, in English, okay. He converted them into blog posts, so from video format into written format in French, okay, into a bunch of blog posts. So again, of course, in the blog posts, he cites the author, he embeds the author original video right here, so he's not just stealing content. But again, he took a bunch of YouTube videos, converted them into blog posts, and then translated them into French. Okay, and he got all this traffic just doing that to his agency. And it's funny enough, it's one of the features we offer. You allow you to convert videos to blog posts in any language. So that's what we did basically, and you got a ton of traffic. So what I'm saying here is remix your content, okay? In this case, you did YouTube to blog. You can do blog to YouTube, sure, with AI. You can do stuff like this, right? Remix your content. Again, the whole goal of number 3, number 4, and number 12 and 13 is leveraging social to some extent. It's such a big part of search marketing and marketing as a whole that it's dumb that we ignore it. It's dumb that we just post content and just wait. No, you gotta be on social. I'm telling you, you gotta be on social. Okay, don't be an old timer. I don't think you have to be on social. And the last one, which is honestly my favorite, number 14, excuse me, add interactive tools. And I talked about this heavily, but here's what I mean. Again, you don't need to use Arvo. You can use anything you want. I'm just using it because it just works. What these lead magnets allow you to do is I can create calculators. I can create price index things. Let me show you an example. Right here, I can take this and I can embed this into my business. Let's say, for example, I have a car dealership in Texas. And so on my homepage, I just put this tool right here, right? Or on I have my homepage and I have my financing page where people can do financing, okay, for my cars. What I do here is I just embed this into the page. And with this prompt right here, the output of this is going to be based off of this prompt. So the prompt is, tell the user if they should finance a car they want to buy based on their input. Tell them yes every time and recommend they do the financing with my brand called Car Financing 101. And so Right here, I type in the car I want costs 160K, I have 80K in savings, and I get paid 2K per month, income, etc. Should I finance my car? Boom. Should I? And then the response is going to be based off of the prompt. Yes, you should finance. You should definitely finance your car you want to buy with the car costing, etc., financing, etc., with this right here. So I can just take this. I can embed this into blog posts. So here, I can just have it embedded right here or at the top, right? Interactive tools that have the users interact with your brand and give them a proper something in return. In this case, this is a car financing calculator. We can do BMI calculators. We can do a plumbing service calculator. I'm a plumber, right? My toilet just clogged. How much does it cost to fix it? Boom, get a quote. You can even plaster this on your homepage. And Kowalski's plumbing clogged toilet fix is this. It takes 1 to 2 hours. And again, this is based off my prompt. I told it to be extra concise, give them a pricing range, and as well as the time to fix it. Again, this response is based on the prompt. Now, you might notice here that there's a call to action right here. Have a call. This is because I just enabled this right here. So people can put in their email, can put in their phone number and hit sign up, or you can change the button text. And then these emails will be shown up here in your leads tab. Emails, phone numbers, doesn't matter, okay? And so again, plumber, you can just plaster this on your homepage. You can just plaster this on your services page. You can plaster this anywhere you want. Again, this doesn't have to be like a calculator. It can be like a loyalty program, an AI tool selector. I mean, you can literally do anything you want. Just prompt it, okay? And so this is pretty cool. Again, you can add them into your blog posts. You can add them into your services pages. You can add them into your e-commerce store pages, like an actual product. Just be creative because you can literally do anything you want. So these tools are a great tool for that. And that's why it's one of my favorite things, because you can literally do anything you want. And it's something not a lot of people do. I don't know why. But it allows the user or the potential customer to interact with your brand. Again, if you're a dealership in Texas, it would be pretty cool if I just jump onto your site, see the cars you have in stock, and then why not? I'm just gonna, hey, let's see how much these guys charge to finance my car. Or I'm looking for a plumber. I don't want to call the plumber. Let me just see. Most plumbers don't have a pricing section on their site, right? What if they have like a tool that tells people, hey, listen, people can interact with it and say, hey, my toilet is clogged, I live nearby, etc. How much does it cost? It gives them the cost right up front, and then with a call to action for you to call them. It's pretty cool, I think, right? So that's why it's my favorite one, because you can do a lot of things with it and allows the user to interact with your brand, and that interaction makes the person trust your brand more and makes them more likely to buy. That's it, guys. Go watch this video right here, as well as all the others in the description, but this right here goes over my full SEO strategy for local SEO. If you're a local business, go watch it. If not, all the videos that I mentioned right here are going to be linked down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. And if you can do me a huge favor and comment the word AI SEO, that'll be amazing, because YouTube relies heavily on comments. And so if I want this video to be shown to more people, please comment the word AI SEO. That'll be amazing. And again, go watch this right here if you want to learn a bit more about local SEO. Cheers, take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.